But he doesn't just tell you to go away. Or he may sometimes just say, go away, I'm too busy. And in any case, I can't tell you anything. Well, people won't take that for an answer. They won't take no for an answer. And furthermore, if he just said, go away, they would just find some other teacher who would exploit them and maybe keep them as followers for years and acquire a great deal of money by so doing. But what he does is another thing. He tries to give them the foot down, as if to say, you have a great long distance to go yet. Your attainment is not at all perfect. And they're always talking about other sects and other schools and saying, well, they haven't really got the point, you see? So that you keep losing faith in yourself and feeling, my goodness, I haven't yet attained this thing. And that keeps you working. But all the time, you're being talked out. It's like someone who's a pickpocket and he's stolen your own watch and is selling it to you. But just so long as you can be talked out of yourself, you deserve to be. Now, you become very aware of this if you ever do momentarily slip into some sort of mystical experience. You become aware of this tremendous gamesmanship going on. And you see it as sort of continuous with all sorts of cosmic games that are going on, of creatures eating other creatures up, and the creatures that get eaten, of course, transform themselves into the creatures that eat them, and then in turn eat other creatures. And you see the whole hide-and-seek game going on, and then you realize very clearly that the state of development that you are in now is no better and no worse than anybody else's state. Because it's like space again. Which planet is in, or which star is in the best position? Well, it's all equal. They're all in the middle. Any one can be considered as the center one. Any point on a sphere is the center of the surface of the sphere. So, in the same way, everybody, in all his behavior, whatever he's doing, whether we call him from a certain point of view sick, or whether we call him healthy, whether we call him good or bad, neurotic, normal, psychotic, sane, all the manifestations are just like the leaves on the trees. And in each being in a unique way is, as Christians would say, manifesting the will of God.
For this badly, and you're gonna fucking tell me I can't say this? There've been all kind of problems with that one. So I made sure that I wanted to own all of Can't Hurt Me and own all of my own life story. So that's what it really is all about.
Well, you really have ownership not only of your own story, but your ability to tell it.
Right.
And, you know, as somebody who's like a member of the ultra community, you know, I remember, and I think we talked about this last time, you kind of disappeared for a couple years there from around, like, I don't know what it was, like 2009, 2010 to about 2013.
Yep, that's it.
You had like a website and a blog that would get updated once in a while, and I would check back in and try to see what you were up to, and you just went totally dark.
I went ghost, man.
Yeah, and I didn't know about the heart stuff. There was something about like, oh, there's a health thing that you're dealing with.
Right.
And I thought, oh, this guy's just disappeared.
Right.
But that was the recruiting era, right? Where you were just on the road telling your story, putting in the reps on how to tell your story.
So it was the recruiting era for me when I started becoming like the Navy SEALs needed more blacks in the SEAL teams. And that's what people don't understand. Like why is it becoming recruited in the SEAL teams? I was one of the few black guys, and I'd already done Badwater. So I got a little, small bit of notoriety for doing Badwater. And so the Navy SEALs were like, oh my God, we could use this guy to try to get the 1% of the African Americans in Navy SEALs up to maybe 2%. And so I hit the road and started doing that. But I also I'm not a big guy on social media. So I was actually happy to kind of pull away from it. I'm just not big on that stuff. Even today, I'm just not a big fan of it, man. I'm a big introvert. I get a lot of my strength from being introverted. And going out there and doing what I do all this is very difficult for me, man.
Yeah, it's funny when you say you're introverted because you're so good, when it comes to sharing your story, and it's so compelling. And, there's a lot of people out there like quote unquote influencers or whatever who'd be like, wow, like this guy's got, what do you have, like 600,000 plus on Instagram or something like that. Yeah, and for somebody you're averse to it, you don't like it, you hate it, you only post once in a while, you don't really advertise what you're doing at all, but you've grown this huge following of people who are super interested in what you're doing.
I think it's important to do things you don't like, and I was very ashamed of my life story for a long time. I didn't want to go out and tell anybody shit about me. So that's why I had two people. I created one David Goggins and one Goggins. And I didn't want people to know that I had all these issues. But after a while, people started giving me these different taglines. Like, you're superhuman, you're amazing. They start, like, you fuckers don't know anything about me, man. I'm this insecure kid. I started realizing there's a lot of people out here who are going through a lot of problems that I once tapped into. I had a whole bunch of issues. And, I felt compelled to just, you know what? You gotta start sharing this stuff, man. People see where you're at today. They see where you're at today. They see the man you are today, this hard human being. Show these people where you come from, right? Show these people it's possible.
It's funny when you're reading the book, like once you get into the later chapters, like 6, 7, or 8, all the way to the end, you start to forget chapters 1 and 2.
That's right.
You start thinking this guy is a superhuman, and then you got to remind yourself, like, oh man,
right. Actually, in the audiobook, while Adam's reading, we have a moment where we stop because we're like 6 or 7, 6, 7, 8, where I start doing all these crazy feats and start going way beyond human limits for myself. And I tell people, while you're hearing this, I know you guys have already forgotten about how I came up. Don't forget the torture I endured, mentally and physically in my own mind, going through all this shit. So don't ever forget that. So people forget that so quickly when they get to that 7, 8, 9, 10 chapters. So it's
cool. We should just mention the audiobook. I mean, the book is amazing, but the audiobook is next level. And part of that is because you guys kind of broke the paradigm here. You made this somewhat risky decision to have Adam read most of the book. We'll get into the reasons behind that, which I think are well considered. But then after each chapter, you and Adam break it down podcast style, like informally, where you just freestyle on what that chapter was all about, and that just brings it to life in like this technicolor way, which makes it just such a compelling experience.
Well, everything I do, I try to do my very best. And now that I'm out here trying to share this story with people, I want to be so real and so fucking authentic to the point where it was embarrassing to me. As I was writing some stuff and I was giving it to Adam and we were going back and forth, I'm like, man, I was talking to my fiance, do I really want people to fucking know this about me?
But that's the power, man.
And that's
the strength that you
man.
have to summon to be that vulnerable, because that's how people are going to be able to emotionally connect.
Exactly.
When they look at what